Iran has a new supreme leader. What does that mean for your military effort and the confrontation with the United States and Israel?
That means the system is quite functioning.
US President Donald Trump has demanded complete surrender by Iran. What is your response to that?
As a professor of psychology, I would like to say that Donald Trump is quite illiterate with the Iranian culture and the personality of Iranians, which is the product of 500 years of civilization and rich heritage, strengthened by Shia doctrine as well as Islamic mysticism.
So the United States says it's drastically degraded the Iranian military, the capabilities as far as missiles is concerned, drones is concerned. How much longer can you do this?
That is one of the false narratives that the United States government is producing. Iranian military is quite strong, as you see, because they have the motivation, they have the arms that they need, which are produced in Iran. As a matter of fact, we are not dependent on any other country for weapons and arms.
So your side is ready for a long war if the United States and Israel choose that. Do you consider this an existential threat to the Islamic Republic?
It is an existential threat to the Islamic Republic, and therefore we have to stay with full might, as we are doing now.
Is your side seeking, or will you seek, a ceasefire with the United States at this point in time, and with Israel?
I don't see any room for diplomacy anymore, because Donald Trump has been deceiving others and not keeping with his promises. And we experienced it in 2 times of negotiations, that while we were engaged in negotiation, they struck us.
What does the fact that Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei is now the supreme leader mean for all this? Does that mean that the structure of the military and the supreme leadership are as one going forward and ready to prosecute this war for as long as it takes?
Yeah, exactly. You know, the responsibility of the leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran is to lead the defense capability of Iran. And therefore, as the Ayatollah Khamenei was doing that, now the new leader would do that. And he is the commander of the armed forces.
President Trump said he wanted to have a say in the new leadership of Iran, and he has also said that he doesn't think very highly of Iran's new supreme leader. What's your answer to that?
That is not his business. Iranians are, mature enough to do their job. As you see in this election of Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei, they proved that. You know, the Iranian system is quite functioning, and this has been foreseen in the Iranian constitution. And therefore, it is functioning very well, and that's not the business of Donald Trump or any other person to intervene in Iranian internal affairs.
How does all of this end then? If you say right now there's no room for negotiation, President Trump says he wants complete surrender, what does that lead to?
There's no room unless the economic pressure would be built up to the extent that other countries would intervene to guarantee this termination of aggression of Americans and Israelis against Iran.
So you're talking about the Gulf countries, presumably. You're saying that the Gulf countries and other countries who are suffering from as well need to put pressure on the United States to end this.
But everyone, you know, this war has been producing a lot of pressure, economic pressure on others, in terms of inflation, in terms of lack of energy. And so if it would be continued, this pressure would be built up more. And therefore, others have no choice but to intervene.
President Trump says that he still has the goal that Iran should never have a nuclear weapon, and he wants to get rid of Iran's highly enriched uranium. Would you still be willing to talk about that? Is that even still an issue for you?
We have been quite clear that this is the legitimate right of Iranians to have enrichment. And that is not something that we could just forget.
Do you believe that in the future you would be able to speak to the Americans again at some point?
I don't think so. Unless there would be a guarantee that Americans and Israelis would not dare to strike Iran again.
Finally, what is your message to President Trump as we sit here, as the war is going on?
What is important for us is the end of this game. And we are ready to continue that game.
The end of this game, you mean how this war will end?
Yeah, the end of the game would be the time that Americans and Israelis would come to this understanding that this strategy is not working. And they have to stop their aggressions against Iranians.